I remember the moment everything changed, etched in my memory like a stormy sunset over the ocean. I stood in my ancestral home, a grand estate perched high on the cliffs of Malibu, its beauty stark against the chaos of crashing waves below. The views of the roaring sea were spectacular, a wild reminder of nature's untamable power. As I flipped through the deed to this multi-million-dollar property, waves of betrayal crashed over me. You bought a house with my fortune and brought strangers. Into my legacy, the words echoed in my mind, squeezing my heart like a vice. The architecture of the estate whispered secrets of our family history, yet, in that moment, it felt tainted, compromised. My name is Vivian Radcliffe, sole heir to a vast financial empire. This wealth, built methodically over decades through shrewd investments across technology, real estate, and luxury goods, an intricate web valued at over $5 billion, was my birthright. It commanded respect in the boardrooms of the world, a colossal monument to my father's labor and vision. Navigating this ruthless world, where loyalty often danced with betrayal, I wore my title as a respected power broker like armor. But beneath that armor, vulnerability coursed through my veins, threatening to drown me beneath the weight of inherited expectations, an inheritance that had become shackles of deceit. My father forged this legacy from nothing, sculpting it with blood, sweat, and tears, a colossal endeavor filled with late nights, high stakes, and an unwavering resolve that trailed behind him, like shadows stretched towards the fading sun. More than just a collection of assets, this empire was a story, a testament to resilience. He instilled in me the true value of wealth and the profound responsibility of stewardship. The Radcliffe name commanded reverence in the corridors of power, and I served proudly on several multinational boards, embroiled in decisions that reflected our storied history. A narrative of struggle, triumph, and colossal ambition. My life sparkled with the grandeur of crystal chandeliers, manicured lawns, and tailored suits, yet beneath the surface blazed a fierce desire to protect our legacy. The threads of family history interwoven with towering skyscrapers and sprawling estates. Little did I know, the greatest threat lingered within my own home, a danger veiled in familial ties and masked by false smiles. At family gatherings, tensions simmered beneath the surface, like restless waves eager to crash onto the shore. My estranged brother, Charles, returned after decades abroad, chasing thrill and hidden truths, as if in pursuit of chaotic enlightenment. Though once charming, he had become intertwined with chaos, every interaction filled with an uneasy tension. I found myself both drawn to him, yet anxious, proactively welcoming him back despite the painful distance that had formed. A genuine effort to mend broken bonds that had fractured us over the years. However, I soon stumbled upon paperwork revealing he had quietly acquired a beach house using my funds, the very funds I had meticulously constructed to safeguard our family legacy. Enraged, I revisited the financial structures that had once been my bastion of security. I had tightly controlled our finances with trust funds designed precisely for this reason. How could he have manipulated these structures without my knowledge? The discovery gnawed at my understanding of loyalty, transforming what I had once viewed as familial love into sharp splinters of betrayal. As fate would have it, irony led me to discover an ancient key, an artifact now repurposed for deceit. The house, a renowned estate on Palm Beach, had been sold, yet it reeked of duplicity. It belonged to me, to our family's story, now twisted beyond recognition. The realization felt like betrayal in my bones, and the storm of emotions within me threatened to spill over. Raging fury ignited within as the webs of deceit spun by my own flesh and blood unraveled before me. When he gazed into my eyes, pretending innocence, I felt betrayal settle upon me like a storm cloud, darkening all the sunlit memories of our shared youth, a childhood once beautiful, now tinged with a veil of manipulation. Trusting Charles, I believed that our childhood memories alone could tether us together. Yet now, he stood before me a stranger, cloaked in a facade of brotherly love, while simultaneously wielding betrayal like a weapon. That beach house symbolized my legacy, the very fabric of our family's story, once woven through triumphs and trials, shattered by deceit. Documents piled beneath my manicured hands revealed layers of truth entwined in financial machinations spanning continents. Worry seeped into my thoughts. Charles had enlisted a team of accountants and lawyers, people I had never authorized, intent on plundering our family's hard-won legacy. My misplaced trust had unwittingly opened doors to thieves, allowing them to wander among our ancestors' portraits, seeking treasures safeguarded within our estate. The magnitude of his betrayal left me reeling, a tempest of emotions swirling within me as I pieced together his exploitation of our shared history, a history I had fought so hard to protect. One evening, at an upscale dinner in Aspen, hushed whispers surrounded me like an ominous cloud, a moth drawn to the flame of scandal. The room buzzed with rumors of family strife, my name flitting among eager lips like spark igniting a wildfire. My cheeks flushed, not with embarrassment, but with an insatiable fury at the injustice boiling within me. I could feel the eyes of the world upon me, each gaze a reminder that my life laid bare was being dissected, exposed, and painfully battled over. I would not fold to humiliation. My story was mine to tell, and my legacy was mine to protect. The tide had turned. My family's name was dragged through the mud by my deceitful brother, orchestrating a scheme I hadn't known existed. Wealth may secure homes, positions, and luxuries, but it cannot mend the void left by betrayal. Amidst the elegance of that soiree, I made a resolute decision. I would reclaim what was rightfully mine. I wouldn't allow the world to see me as a victim, nor grant Charles the satisfaction of tarnishing my legacy further. The flames of resolve ignited within me, sparking a determination to reignite the tenacity that had been passed down through generations, a fire that refused to extinguish. I began gathering documentation meticulously, like a warrior donning armor against the impending storm. A trust document worth over $3 billion lay among piles of papers. Every line detailing my rights became a roadmap to reclaiming my legacy. I prepared for confrontation, mentally preparing myself. Sibling rivalry could not reduce decades of heritage to mere squabbles over money. This was a battleground for our family's honor, an eternal dance of love, ensnared within the coils of greed that sought to consume us. The day finally arrived, shrouded in tension as I arranged a clandestine meeting at my estate, surrounded by echoes of generations past. Walls that bore witness to love and loss, triumph and shattered dreams. Charles sat across the grand mahogany table, charming yet cloaked in the heavy weight of betrayal that clung to him like a shroud. Our pleasantries felt insincere, palpable, tension coursing through the opulence of the room. Each tick of the clock echoed the growing rift between us, an ever-widening chasm. I slid the papers, my tickets to justice, before him, a silent accusation etched into their very fibers. "This," I asserted firmly, "is my proof. It's time to face the truth about what you've done." The world seemed to freeze in that moment. Genuine surprise replaced his mockery as reality came crashing down, the weight of consequence settling heavily upon us both. "You can't do this, Vivian," he protested, the bravado fading from his voice. The glimmer of confidence proved fragile, shattering like glass under pressure. "I already have," I replied, the weight of my family's legacy pressing upon my shoulders, an inescapable mantle of responsibility. This moment marked a metamorphosis, a rebirth of a woman carrying more than just wealth. I was now an embodiment of the sacrifices made to sustain our family throughout years of toil and triumph. The expectations that lay heavy upon me forged me into a force no one could reckon with, a legacy reborn from betrayal's ashes. This day imparted a priceless lesson. buried beneath tumultuous emotions. Trust can be as transient as wealth. It must be guarded fiercely, protected with unyielding tenacity and resilience. Broken trust requires more than passive reconciliation. It demands a reckoning, a confrontation laden with defined boundaries where duties must be met with unwavering resolve. I grasped the magnitude of my actions, not merely reclaiming an inheritance, but for the embodiment of principles that surpass even the most genuine monetary ties. A commitment to protect what truly mattered. As I confronted my brother, memories of our childhood flooded my mind, interspersed with the serious lessons our father imparted about trust, integrity, and the profound price of betrayal. My voice steadied, firming as I recounted our father's dreams for us. How he believed that wealth should uplift our family and bind us closer together, never tear us apart. It became my clarion call, an impassioned plea echoing through the legacy's hallowed walls. Charles wrestled with denial, struggling within the confines of his choices. The realization struck him like a bolt of lightning. Our father's teachings could reshape our narrative, could mend the fractures that had grown between us. His face shifted from defense to reflection, confronting the recklessness with which he had gambled away our shared legacy, oblivious to the true cost. The confrontation became a stage for catharsis, marking a new chapter, a pivotal turning point where love collided with greed, underscoring humanity's frailty and vulnerability. The sanctity of our legacy now clearer than ever. "Vivian, I was lost," he finally confessed, his voice raw and filled with vulnerability. The sound resonated in the vastness of the room, filling the space like mournful notes of a broken melody, haunting and echoing long after he spoke. A profound silence enveloped us, heavy with years of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. Compassion washed over me in waves. This was not merely a clash over assets, but a reckoning of truths buried beneath layers of animosity and distance. Through the sadness, I stood firm on my principles, allowing only strength and clarity to guide my actions. "Life is not recklessly spent, Charles," I implored, as I laid bare the heart of my convictions. "It's about upholding the values engraved in our legacy. This legacy should enrich our lives, should build bridges that bring us closer together, not burn them to the ground." His eyes shimmered with a tumult of emotions, fear, shame, and accountability intertwined like vines around a sturdy support. We understood that a path toward reconciliation would lay ahead, requiring us to rebuild trust. From the ground up, to navigate these uncharted waters of familial bonds and lingering guilt. In this moment of shared vulnerability, I discovered empowerment in forgiveness. Strength found not solely for myself, but also as we ventured into reconciliation's uncharted waters together. United yet bound by our choices, we emerged from darkness, slowly piecing our fractured legacy together with newfound wisdom, respect, and clarity. Reflecting on this chapter of my life, I see that true power lies not just in overwhelming wealth, but in the understanding, compassion, and resilience needed to rise above the duplicity life often presented. My legacy remains secure, reclaimed, and fortified by wisdom and strength, safeguarding what truly matters from betrayal's treacherous tides. So, I ask you, would you trust someone guarding your fortune? Or would you knowingly scrutinize the shadows lurking beneath? In this intricate world of ours, every decision counts, especially when the stakes involve the very essence of your legacy itself, worth every ounce of vigilance and strength, regardless of the cost. In the end, I embraced the journey, understanding that our legacy was more than mere wealth. It was interwoven in shared experiences, painful lessons learned, and an undying commitment to rise stronger together from the storm that once threatened to drown us all. I walked away from that confrontation transformed, ready to forge a path that honored the past while boldly constructing a future steeped in integrity and resilience. It was a future that would ensure our family's legacy emerged with renewed purpose and an unwavering spirit, indelibly etched in the annals of our history, a history that we now had the power to reshape together.